Well, good morning, everyone. Today is November 27th, and we're going to be doing a Gleaner Combine, going through it and do modifications and hyperizing it, what they call Hyperize. So I'm going to give you a few pictures or a few things that we do, and maybe it'll help someone. We'll start here kind of with the feeder house. Let's just start with the combine and what we've kind of tore apart on it. Right there is where the rotor goes in, and the backside little square, that's where the actual straw chopper is. And this right here is the actual rotor that goes in the combine. Then here's the front where the feeder house goes that we've taken off, and we need to cut out, there's a hump in the front that was put in by the factory that we want to cut out and put a flat plate in so we can get a little better throughput through it. I don't know if this will help you at all. You can kind of see the hump that goes right there, which we'll cut that out and put our plate in. And then while it's apart, we take all the belts off and we actually roll the bearings to see if we have any rough bearings, and spin this one because it sounds rough already. Kind of hear it's got a growl to it, so that bearing will have to be changed out, which time we're done, it should be field ready and hopefully get us through another season. These here on top are what they call accelerator rollers, which take the grain after it goes through the concave and throws it down onto the grain pan. And usually what they have is they're made out of rubber, a soft rubber, which they need to get changed out every 3-4 years, which we're going to go to stainless, and hopefully that'll last several more years. We won't have to come back and maintain them again. Which you can see they got sharp edges on them. Hopefully they hold their edge. If you see this is the actual feeder chain that pulls the grain up into the combine. On the gleaners, there's actually two of them, one in the front, one in the back. And what happens with these, after so long, they start getting worn, need to be replaced. And also the sprockets that run the chain need to be replaced. And we're in the middle of actually cutting this one out and putting in a new shaft and new actually sprockets. Here's a picture of, or a video of one we're just starting to put together, which a lot of times we kind of do on our own to save a little money and a little. Then in the bottom of the chopper, they have what they call a floor. Here's the old floor that was in there, and we're putting a new style floor in, which is actually a 10 blade chopper knife set. And then here's the new chopper that we put in versus the standard one that comes with the combine. And as we go through this combine, we'll just keep taking shots and try to put something together. Maybe help somebody up down the road on doing one of these jobs. Or Well, we got the plate cut out back up here.
Oh my gosh.
The old one. Right here. Here's the hump. Now, the next thing is come in here, clean all these walls up so we can get the new plate put in. Well, we finally got finished with the plate installation. This is how that turned out. And you see here, there's no more, the hump is gone as of now. So we should be getting about 15 to 20% more throughput. Okay, we're in the middle of reassembling the feeder shaft with sprockets. And on the feeder shaft, or sprockets, there's timing marks. And we're in the middle of putting them back all together. What we'll do is we'll blow the holes out where the blocks go in, where the feeder house will ride on. Hopefully it'll slide in there easy when everything's cleaned up. We'll see how this is going to work. One of the biggest thing is trying to get it lined up square so you can go into the hole correct. That's part of the biggest issues, is getting in square. Well, on with our next project. The main bearings we have to replace are rough. So at this point we got the shafts, belts off. Now we're getting ready to make a pull on this side. Have to pull the right and the left hand side. We got this side taken off already. And what we have is we've got the bearing pulled. Now we're just getting in the middle of putting a new bearing on and see what we come up with. We have ourselves a little problem child on this side. We got to make ourselves a homemade puller, but it'll work for us. Here's all the sides with the clutches on it. Well, we ended up having not be able to get the bearing off, so then we had to pull the shaft out to get to what we're trying to accomplish. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Oh boy, heated up those splines pretty good.
That's right.
Hello, it's December 11th, and let's do a little update on where we at on this Hyperizing this Gleaner Combine. At this point, we got the rear feeder chain back in. New sprockets, bearings, shafts. Here's kind of a look at what that looks like. We got the back shaft, the main shaft that goes all the way across. We put new bearings in there. New elevator bearings, we're still working on them, with new feeder chains. Here's the feeder chains from the old to the new. It's a clean grain one we're looking at right now, and on the other side is the tailings return, which we haven't got the new parts yet. All right, we're getting ready to put the chopper back in the hole, and here's what the new chopper looks like. They're serrated knives. Here's a better picture of the chopper we're getting ready to put in the hole. Good morning. We're back in action here, putting things back together. And we're at the point of we're putting the rotor back in today. And it's a pretty easy job where you just put it in from the side and away you go. Sure somebody has an easier way of doing this, but I guess this is the way we learn to do it, and it works fairly well for us. We also had to pull the auger that goes into the grain bin, the clean grain. We had to pour out in the bottom, the holes in the bottom of the floor, and cracks, bearings bad, belts bad. It's what they call preventing. Another thing we did with the Gleaner Combines is we updated the spreader paddles. And this is what we used to have on them. And for some reason they seem to be curling over all the time and you lose your throw on them. So we went to a test poly. So we're going to try to see how this turns out for us. They may just break off. I guess we're not sure how it's going to turn out, but it's always fun to experiment and play with things. Well, today's the day. We finally got this thing R75 done and complete. Been a long journey, but we'll run it here and see if we got any hot bearings or how we look. Well, we got her put back in the shed and call it a year. Put her to bed for a year for 2022. Get her ready. She'll be ready to go.